All right, hello. This is the last day of Unit 1, so this will be Unit 1 notes, but the last day is Unit 9, and we're just going to be solving some quadratic equations and higher degree questions, so those are your learning targets, as they call them. Just being able to solve for them. You will have some solutions that are real, some that have square roots, and some that are imaginary, so it's going to be kind of a combination of everything we've done so far. First, we're starting off with quadratics. So exponent, the biggest one is 2. A couple steps here. See if you can easily factor them. If you can factor them, go for it. Otherwise, don't spend a lot of time like, oh, I can't factor it. I don't know what to do. What numbers? Don't spend a lot of time. If you can factor them, great. If you can't, go to the quadratic formula. So that is x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. There's that discriminant we talked about yesterday, all over 2a. Okay, a little bit of reminder. So there's the formula again. When you do this, the number in front of x squared is the a, the number with just x is b, and the number constant is your c. So, a is 2, b is -3, and c is 4. So you would want to do the opposite of b, which is, so -3 becomes a +3, plus or minus the square root of -3 squared minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. So the important thing is, when you square the b term, it should be in parentheses, but automatically also remember when you square that it should become a positive, because what my concern is that if you square -9 like this, or sorry, -3 like this, you're going to end up with a -9. And that number we're using should be a positive. So you go through all that, you have 3 plus or minus, what's that, 9, 8, that is -32, all over 4. So you have 3 plus or minus, we need to subtract first. The very last thing under that root is doing the, so we do all that and then we square root -23 over 4. Now here's the thing, automatically we have a -√23, so that becomes an I. So we pull I out of that, we have 3 plus or minus 23 does not root nicely, so we're going to leave it as the root of 23. We're going to leave the I on the outside, and then all of it over 4. So I can't break that down. Don't make decimals. I want whole answers, and that's it. Go ahead and try the second one. So this would be the place to stop the video, and then come back and check. So at the end, make sure you divide them out. So it's -6 over 2, which is -3. Negative root of 4i becomes plus or minus 2i, so plus or minus I or 1i. So you have some real and some imaginary solutions. Now, the next ones that are coming up are higher degrees. So the first sort of stuff you want is to get everything on one side. So we want it to equal 0 first. So you start everything off on one side. So we get plus 48x squared. We get 3x to the 4th. First, get all your terms to one side. Do not divide by x. Says plus 48x squared. So step 1 is there. If you see a GCF, pull out the GCF. So x squared should come out, because we're factoring in, so you get 3x squared. Whoops daisy. How about a 3 also? Haha, GCF. 3x squared. Alright, so we have x squared. 3 should come out of both. Plus 16 is equal to 0. Third step says set each part equal to 0 and solve. So when they mean the parts, they mean wherever there's parentheses, or that is where they are split up. So you set 3x equal to 0, and you have x squared plus 16 equal to 0. Start solving. When you square root 0, technically that means plus or minus 0, but we know there's no plus or minus, so please do not write plus or minus. So this means 0 actually occurs twice. So your answers are 0, 0, which is repeated. And then we have this one. So x is plus or minus 4i. So occasionally, yes, they do come out nicely, yay, so 4i and negative 4i. Now, I knew I was going to have 4 lines here because of the degree. The biggest exponent here is 4, so the degree is 4, which means 4 solutions. So right away, before I even began the next one, I saw my degree here is 3. So that means at the end, I will have 3 solutions. All right, so group the first 2 terms, the last 2 terms. So group them. X squared, x plus 2. When you do grouping, they should come out to be the same parentheses. Okay, pull the terms in. X squared plus 3, then x plus 2. Woo, nice, 2. Okay, set each parenthesis equal to 0 and solve. You can automatically tell right away the parenthesis on the right, the x plus 2, that will have 1 solution because there's no other x value. This one, which has the squared here, will have 2 solutions coming from it. So the problems tell you stuff right before you even begin them that will help you just double check stuff. So on one answer I get negative 2. Whoop. Sorry, woo, negative 2. The other one, when I subtract 3 and I square root it, I get plus or minus square root 3 in I. So there I have positive root 3i and negative root 3i. All right, this is where we're going to stop. This is some more practice of some factoring. Oh, just kidding, I'm not going to stop here. Ha ha! All right. When you see stuff go down, so you have the biggest degree 4, so I know I have 4 answers. When you see them go down by halves though, 4, 2, and 0, if you had x to the 6 plus 5, x third minus 36, so it goes 6, 3, 0. If it went 8, 4, 0, if it went 10, 5, 0 for the exponents, you can factor these just like you would for x. Okay, so you start off with these. I split up x to the 4th to split it up in half, so x squared and x squared. I want 2 numbers that multiply to negative 36 but add up to 5, so 9 and 4, negative 36 but add to that, so plus 9 and minus 4, and set equal to 0. Do not do quadratic formula with this, it will not work. X squared minus 4 equal to 0, so move 9 over, x squared equals negative 9, root. I got positive and negative 3i, so those are your some 2 answers. I add 4 over, I get x squared is equal to 4, so I root and I root, I get no i's here, so I get plus and minus 2, so there are your last 2 answers. I will have the other one factor, so factor just like you would for x, and then solve. I will have those answers in class, so double check it. If you want to practice and then try it, the rest of it is your homework.